because speaking of quarterbacks, some quarterback got the hammer. Okay, a couple weeks ago to be exact, we talked about it a little bit on the show, but I don't really think we really got to dive into the fit, okay, for Derek Carr and what's next for Derek Carr. So you know what? That's exactly what we're going to debate right now. Which fit and situation is the best for Derek Carr? And Zay, if you want to park in the lot, by all means.
I'm gonna have go abouts real quick because I have two teams in mind that he could go to, but I'm gonna go with the team first that I feel like he could go to immediately and cause an impact, which is a Super Bowl run, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. I think when you look at Brock Purdy and what he's able to do off the bench as a rookie for the San Francisco 49ers, it only shows that Trey Lance is not ready. Trey Lance is not a quarterback ready to push his team forward, to be that quarterback, to be the guy, to be the leader on the offense. This team's a win now scenario. How long do they have to allow Trey Lance to develop? You got Christian McCaffrey out there. He may opt out. He may stay on the team. You got Deebo Samuel. You just gave an extension to. You have this defense that has been extremely stout for the last couple seasons. We don't know how long it will last. It's been almost 5-6 seasons since they've been a top 10 defense. We don't know how long they have to continue being a top 10 defense, to be an elite defense. So you have a window of opportunity here, and you can't keep relying on Trey Lance being this guy year after year after year. You sat him 1 year, allowed Jimmy G to be the guy. This year was supposed to be his year. He got hurt. But even that first game, he didn't look promising. He didn't make the plays to be the commander, the guy that just moved when all adversity was facing him. It was horrible weather implications, but you have to pull out that game. You have to be the guy to say, all right, I'm going to adjust and win this football game. We didn't see that from him then. We didn't see that from him even in the preseason. So there's a lot of different things there. So when you bring in Derek Carr with this offensive line, with the weapons there, with the defense, two things in Derek Carr's career he has yet to have: a good defense and a good offensive line. You get that in San Francisco 49ers with a great coach, a great offensive mind. So that's something that when you look at Derek Carr and what he brings, his talents, what he brings to the San Francisco 49ers, all equals up to a Super Bowl appearance for the 49ers for a championship in San Francisco. And that's something I believe Derek Carr and the 49ers both benefit.
That's a very interesting take, but go ahead, Cuzzo.
Yeah, listen, Zay, I don't know, man. That was, like you said, because an interesting take. I think that's better for Carr, not for San Fran. You know what I mean? I think that'll be good for Carr. Good for a team? I'm thinking your team, Zay, the Jets. You know what I mean? I'm thinking the team that got a legitimate defense. You know what I mean? A team that's missing a quarterback. That's a good partnership for Carr. That's a good partnership for the Jets. It'll benefit both teams. San Francisco, no disrespect, wins without Carr. They're winning without Carr. You know what I mean? So we don't even know what they're going to do this year in the playoffs as they the number 2 seed. So when they win the Super Bowl, do they really need Carr? No. The Jets need Carr. They didn't make the playoff. The Jets got an elite defense. They can make the playoff run. They can make maybe a possible Super Bowl run with Carr. The Jets is lacking of the quarterback position. We know that. Zach Wilson, we know he's a bust. Let's be real. That's a major bust. So you get Carr, who's still got some years left on him. You got that Jets defense. You got the coach over there, Roberts, right? Robert. Y'all put all that together. They can make a run. Because let's be fair and clear. Early in the season, the Jets was showing some promise. The Jets was showing that they can play with the big boys. Towards the end of the season, bad quarterback play, with a lot of losses, they left out of the playoffs. Pick Carr on that team. Pick Carr on that team next year. And I think the Jets will push Buffalo to the limit. I think the Jets will be more of a threat than Miami. And that's the Freddie system status right there.
Now, as I ease my way into the flow of the game, okay, taking my Jason Tatum mode, just ease my way into the flow of the game before I start shooting over people. I mean, Zay, that was an interesting take because there's a lot of dynamics to that. You got Jimmy Garoppolo still there. Who knows what they do with him? You got Trey Lance, whom you drafted up and traded up to get. Who knows what the future is with him? Okay, I'm pretty sure with all that you gave up to get him, that you either got to trade him or you got to play him. Okay, so we'll see what they decide to do with that. And Brock Purdy is in the playoffs. So who knows what's happening? I'm guessing you thinking they out first round then, based on how you talk. They out and not beating the Seattle Seahawks on Sunday, okay, or Saturday, whatever. But anyway, I think I agree with Freddie. I know I agree with Freddie. But before I even expand on Cuzzo's take, I want to just give a little broad outlook here because I think if I'm Derek Carr First of all, he came out yesterday, said his goodbye. Basically, he got done dirty. And if you watched the show before, when we talked about this, when it first happened, when he was announced or they announced that he was benched, I said he got done dirty. He was sacrificed, right? Now, when you think about things from a perspective, if I'm him, he has a no trade clause. So right now, the Raiders have until, I believe, February 15th, if I'm not mistaken, to trade him. If they can't get a trade partner, they're going to cut him because the money is due around that date. So if I'm Derek Carr, you know, a wise man that go by the name of Tupac said, you know what? Revenge is as sweet as joy next to, you know what? You know, this is not a rated R show, but you know what I mean? Revenge is everything. So if I'm him, you're not trading me nowhere. I'm not accepting no trade because I have the opportunity to walk. You're not getting no assets from me. Okay, you're not going to trade me after you done sacrificed me after all I did. You're not getting a dime from me. You're going to cut me and I'm going to go to where I deem a contender and you're not going to get anything. Okay, because I'm a walking free agency. That's what I would do if I'm him, number one. Now, as far as another take that I had before I get to my team, Derek Carr has the opportunity to be the Matthew Stafford up to date in a way. The reason why I bring that up is because when you look at Matthew Stafford's career in Detroit, poverty at its finest. Okay, I'm not talking about the Detroit Lions of today, because you know how I feel about them today in a good way. But as far as all time, they've been dysfunctional. 4,000-yard seasons easily. A lot of people's like, yo, wait, hold up. He has the arm talent. Why are we not calling him a top 10 quarterback? Why is he 0-3 in playoffs? Why has he done nothing? Okay, that's because he was in a terrible situation. He gets traded. He goes to the Rams, links up with Sean McVay, quarterback, quote-unquote guru, and wins the chip. Derek Carr, hold your head up, bro. You have an opportunity. If you're that good, okay, if you're that good, you control your cards. You can be the next Matthew Stafford and go into a better situation, new pastures, and matter of fact, one door closing could be the door that opens up that you need to save your legacy. So I start up there. And what team could that be potentially? Maybe it's New York. Maybe it is the Jets. Because you know what? I talked about Derek Carr, and we know that he threw for 4,000 yards on occasion, right? He threw for 4,000 yards about 4 times in his stint with the Raiders, okay? The Jets had not had a 4,000-yard passer since the NFL expanded to 16 games in 1978. We now have a 17-game schedule. You should get you a 4,000-yard passer in Derek Carr. Don't try to be cute. Oh, I want to go with the rookie. You know that guy's a bust, and you know you don't trust him. So don't try to be cute. You can get him. You don't got to trade for him. More than likely, you don't have to trade for him if he follows my outlook. You don't got to trade nothing for him. Okay? Let him be the guy to help you. You got a lot of studs on that team defensively. So it's going to, why the hell am I playing this good if I don't have a quarterback to keep up the slack? Get Derek Carr in black and green.
You know, of course, I agree with everyone. The Jets would be a great option. When we talking about win now, I'm talking about the 49ers not winning a Super Bowl yet. You know, we're talking about a team that has been devoid of winning a Super Bowl because of their quarterback play. And when we talk about them making a Super Bowl, their defense is amazing, no doubt about it. But the last couple playoffs, their quarterback has been the reasons they haven't made that extra step. Now, you know, we talk about Jimmy G. Last year, there was a play away from making the Super Bowl, and he threw the pick that eventually took that play away. You know, so when we talk about what Derek Carr, and I actually want to bring the point that Lil made, the Matthew Stafford, because when you bring in Derek Carr on the 49ers, that is literally the Matthew Stafford move, because now the 49ers go above and beyond. They take the division clear easily. Every team in the NFC are fearful of them because not only is their defense scary enough, now that quarterbacks are to make throws. The quarterback's going to get 4,000, 5,000 yards with Debo if they keep Brandon Ayuk, if they get Elijah Mitchell and McCaffrey still going and through the game and Kittle. So that offense is going to be dynamic, and that's a Super Bowl contender right there. You put Carr on the Jets, you know they're a deep playoff team. They're probably their ceiling maybe AFC Championship for sure. But you have to see because you have a lot of guys to develop. You also got the Chiefs in the division, in the conference. You got the Bills, you got the Bengals. Those teams are not teams just look over, you know, especially if the Chargers, you know, if they develop the way they're supposed to, you know, the way we think Herbert will get to. The Chargers is another scary team. The AFC has a lot of I like to call demons because these are guys that can take away your hopes and dreams. And that's the issue regarding, Derek Carr to the Jets. Personally, I would prefer if Derek Carr did want to come to the Jets. If he's like, yeah, waive the no trade clause to the Jets. We need a quarterback. Our offensive line is injury riddled, to say the least. I think, I personally believe we have the most injuries in NFL history on the offensive line in one season. I think it was like 9 or 10 people on the injury reserve, for crying out loud. It is ridiculous. They need a quarterback. Personally, if it's not Derek Carr, it's going to be Jimmy G, one of those two. Carr, like Freddie said, it benefits both sides. Carr needs a team that has weapons, that has a great defense, get the ball to him, and then the Jets need a quarterback desperately. Not we need to develop a guy. No, we need a quarterback direly, because Zach Wilson has not shown us he's the quarterback that he's shown us in BYU. The Jets front office also probably feels ashamed that they drafted a guy and the scouting report was all wrong, that they saw, a totally different guy, the Jamarcus Russell, I guess, comparison, where this guy, they drafted a guy that was not who he is. So, that was the second team, the Jets. They need to draft a quarterback. I mean, they need a quarterback. Derek Carr could be that guy for that team, and it will push that. It would have made that team a playoff team this year if we had a Derek Carr kind of quarterback.
Clear. And I think I actually assist you there with your take. So, you can send my check in the mail, about that Sean McVay linking up with the quarterback guru, because Kyle Shanahan is a quarterback guru. Now, I know he hasn't accomplished nothing for titles here, but we have seen him shuffle quarterbacks and still have success, especially this year, juggling 3. So I can see it from that perspective. I can't even argue that. And I also would say from like a AFC perspective, you outlined the broad AFC debate here, but let's stay within the division. I mean, the AFC West that he was competing in, you got Patrick Mahomes you're going up against. You got Justin Herbert that you're going up against. Why not go to the Jets and just have to go up against Josh Allen or, another division, right? The 49ers, as you said, they only got who do you got? They don't got a quarterback. So I can see that argument the more and more that I think it through. But I think if you're the Jets, you need a quarterback, and it's based off need to me. The 49ers, I don't think they need a quarterback. Time will tell. Time will tell eventually. But they have a lot. Like, they can juggle. Trey Lance, or we giving up on him already? There's so many moving parts of why I don't think that's going to be possible. But as far as the Jets, we know what they need. It's out there. They just fired their coordinator. We know that they need a quarterback. And if you have a quarterback that just got cut, who was experienced, who could throw for 4,000 yards, why not link up with that guy? It makes the most sense to me.
Real quick, Freddie, before you get into there, I just want to say one quick thing. 49ers will be willing probably to trade Jimmy G for Derek Carr, Jimmy G, Josh McDaniels guy, Derek Carr to the 49ers. That's only
negative.
That'll be it.
Tom Brady will be going there, according to my dream, Lil Shadamas. But go ahead.
Listen. The Shanahan status and being the Matthew Stafford, that actually makes sense, because the Rams had a legitimate quarterback in Jared Goff. Got rid of him and upgraded with Matthew Stafford. Got a Super Bowl championship. So don't get me wrong, Zay. You're making some good points here when you say that, because that makes sense. They got solid quarterback play in San Francisco, but they want to upgrade the quarterback play, so when they get to those crucial moments, they get them over to help them win the Super Bowl. I get it, but I'm still gonna go with the Jets. I'm serious about this. I believe if you put Carr on the Jets, Buffalo is going to have competition in the AFC East, okay? More than they had with Miami. No disrespect to Miami. They're going to have legitimate competition, because I believe that Jets defense can definitely sustain and help Carr balance out a real team and give Josh Allen and Buffalo a run for their money. And if you can compete with Buffalo, you can compete with anybody. You shouldn't be scared of Patrick Mahomes. You shouldn't be scared of Joe Burrows. If you can compete with Buffalo, you can compete with everybody in the AFC. And that's what it's about. It's about winning the championship. I'm quite sure Carr got confidence in his ability. If you put a team around me, I could be a Joe Burrows. I could be a Patrick Mahomes. So pin them on the Jets, where they got talent, defensive talent. You know what I mean? Upgrade the offensive line and do the draft. They should have a high draft pick. They didn't make the playoffs. Guess what? Compete. Because if you really that guy, Carr, you don't want to go to a ready-made team so everybody get all the credit. Shanahan get all the credit. San Francisco 49ers get all the credit. No, you want to take a dysfunctional franchise like the Joe Burrows and say, I turned it around and won a championship. Like you said, cousin, the playoffs is about legacy, baby. And that's what he needs to do.
Cuzzo, you ain't gonna like me, man. You ain't gonna like me after this. We was on the same boat. But the more I think about it, Zay came with the
He had
stuff.
good
I'm not
points.
even gonna lie. Because
No,
you know
he
what
did.
I'm also thinking?
He had
Derek
good
Carr is
points.
not great in the cold. He's not. Like, this is a quarterback from the West Coast, Fresno State in California. Okay. So he's not a guy that you want him playing in the cold. Remember that
That's a
Pittsburgh
fact.
game? I mean,
Yeah,
that was
no,
a
that's a
terrible
fact. That's a
game.
fact.
Like, he was affected by the cold. He wasn't making some of the throws. The throws were sailing. You don't want to be in the cold. Some quarterbacks, that's a real thing. They just can't play in the cold. So
You know what?
what better
Cousin, hold on,
area?
cousin. Yo, cousin, you right though. And see, I love that you just brought that element in. You know what I mean? Because think about it. You got to go to New England. You got to go to Buffalo. You're playing
Yeah, I'm thinking
Yeah,
about
that
that.
actually makes sense, bro. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Zay, I came to your aid, brother.
Yes,
Okay,
man.
I came to your aid.
Yo.
1-800 call the real Lil. Okay, that's what you do. I'm gonna make my business right here, marketed
Zay,
and
you
trademark.
got that one, bro. You gotta give it to him. Yo, Zay,
You know
got
that show,
one,
Better
bro.
Call Saul, Better Call Lil. I'm here for your boys. Let's get it.
You got it,
Anyway.
baby. You got it.